Hi, guys. Hi. According to timeanddate.com, it is 11:42 a.m. and you're listening to Dearest Diamond, a Diamond's Memoir. My name is Diamond and you're welcome. I like that part. I don't care how dramatic it is. It's probably always going to be that way. So I like that part. How have you guys been? So I've been great. I've been good. It's Sunday morning, guys. I came into the studio, and I was just thinking like growing up, there's nothing else I would have been doing on a Sunday morning outside of going to church. Whew, I couldn't even imagine doing any other thing else. But here we are, drinking wine. Today I have mojito. I think, yeah, I have this is a mojito and yeah, nice glass. And I am at the studio, but I was able to get um all my episodes going forward are going to be brought to you by Motive Studio, and yeah, they're doing all my production and like whatever setup you see, whatever, both on YouTube, wherever you see me, it's them. So I like that I'm able to do this. For a long time, I struggled with, you know, creating, working in 9 to 5, editing, doing my social media, writing, and just doing everything. And finally, I was able to get to a place where I am now able to contract the production side out. So a lot of my setup, my all I need to do is make my content, speak to you guys, which is the best part. Talking to you guys is the best part. All the other parts of having to edit and all that is like, yeah. But so being able to do this and I'm very grateful for it. So yeah. Today we're just gonna be catching up. It's been a long time. I came to you just me. I mean like audio, yeah, I think was it last week or 2 weeks ago I recorded a video session. But as of today, I haven't put it out. I have just given you guys thirst trap on Instagram, but that's about it. I haven't put it out yet. And I will. But like I was saying, today's Sunday. Woke up in the morning. I've been super, super busy. But before we get into all the and you think when I say I've been super busy, is I've been super doing important things. I've been super busy being an extrovert, but we'll get there. But before we get there, there's a segment I want to try and add to this. Excuse me. Oh, by the way, guys, here we have cookies. So these cookies, I bought them yesterday. My friend Sasha, she was like, "Oh yeah, let's go sit by the river, chill. Nice warm day." So I bought she was driving, so I bought some cookies, I bought popcorn, and we went out. The first place we got to didn't work out. Yeah, and then we went somewhere else and we had a good time. She has 2 dogs, and we just sat by the river. I got into water. It was really cold. It was fun because I've been wanting to do that. Out here, no matter how much the sun comes out, or no matter how much they call it summer, the water is still very cold. In fact, like the summer is so like the moment a cloud covers up the sun, just forget it. You're gonna experience a little bit of chill until the next sun or until the cloud passes over. But yeah, we make do with what we have. In case you haven't figured it out already. Get out your drinks, get out your snacks, whatever you're doing, have a good time with me. Spend the next few minutes just catching up and talking with me. I have something really pressing on my heart that I want to talk about today. And yeah, I was trying to incorporate a session or a segment, and I just want us to like just take, I would say, a minute, few seconds, and just, we're alive. We're very much alive. And I do think that sometimes it's very easy to, I wouldn't say forget, but just not understand what it means to. It's easy for people to say awareness and staying present and staying in the moment. But sometimes I don't think until you practicalize it, you don't really get it. So it's very difficult for it to come to you when it needs to. And I'm going to deviate for a bit. I'm going to talk about something. So the other day I had a bad dream. I was I slept off. I was sleeping at night and I had a friend over, and in like, I don't know if you've ever experienced like dreams where you're like having a dream and you feel immobile. So there's a word. Oh fuck! Sorry, I saw. I forget what it's called, but it's something about staying being in between sleep and wakefulness. So you're sleeping but you're aware. It's a subconscious thing. But anyway, so in my sleep, I wouldn't say my dream because I was awake but I was sleeping, but I knew that I could feel like, now this is exactly what I remember, and I'm just, don't think much of it, but this is exactly what happened. So um I could feel like a cat's presence walking. So not just that I could feel the cat's presence, but I could literally feel the cat walking around me. So my friend is sleeping here, I'm sleeping here, and I could feel the cat walking, and I have a blanket covered over, and I could feel the cat like walking at, like, just tiptoeing around me. You know how cats will do? Just like tiptoeing around me. And then I begin to, so from my sleep or my dream or whatever, I find myself praying. So because I feel immobile in that moment, I feel like I can't wake up, but I'm aware of what's happening, but I can't wake up. So I begin to pray. I'm speaking in tongues now, and I so the cats, what I remember, I literally felt it. I felt the, whether it's a cat or whatever it was, but it was a cat that I had. That was what I thought. And then the, like, the fangs or the teeth. You know when an animal does this, like, like using its teeth to just play with you. That was exactly what I felt like, somewhere on my waist. And then in that moment, I had, so in my subconscious, I had started to like plead the blood of Jesus and was just speaking in tongues, and then I spoke it out. So I woke up with like tongues in my mouth, and I was like, like casting it away or something, or just chasing it away. So yeah, that was my experience a few days ago. And what was I talking about that brought me here? I was just trying to say how, if you don't practicalize things, yeah, in the moments where you need it, you wouldn't know how to do it. So what brought me to this story is that so I think because in recent times I've been praying a lot, just finding myself following messages and just following some preachings and just praying alongside, and things like that. So in the moments where I felt like I needed to rely on something, because a lot, when I was much younger, you hear people say, my sister usually has really vivid dreams, and in her dreams, sorry, excuse me, in her dreams, she'll talk about, she's able to, she's aware of herself in her dreams. And that's something that I have never had. I'm never really subconsciously, awake. The way her dreams are very vivid, she takes action, she can will herself to do stuff in her dreams. I've never really had that. And just because I feel like in recent times I've just tried to give myself more to prayer and things like that. So in this dream, or in this, I forget what that place is called, I'll just call it the in-between. In this in-between where I am, and I felt like I was, in that moment, I probably would have been scared on a normal day, but then I was able to, like, speak out, and I broke into tongues, I broke into prayer, and then I, prayed out of that space. So it's just how, meditation and wakefulness works, and staying aware works, rather. Like, you need to practice it, practicing being in the moment helps you do it. So, like I was saying, I wanted to introduce a new segment, and I just want us to spend a minute together just realizing and noticing that you're awake, you're alive, you're here in this moment. Whatever you have around you, whatever is going around you, look at it, like, experience it. Usually when I'll write in my journal, I'll say, oh, right now I'm sitting cross-legged in Motif Studio. I have really beautiful, nice props around me, dresses, and there's a mirror, and I'm speaking into my microphone and talking to you, and I have green pants on. I like my nails. My watch is dead in this very moment. And in this very moment, it is 11:56 p.m., which is 4 a.m. Sorry, 11:56 a.m. I like my hair. And just knowing that I have a body, I have a soul, I have a person in this moment. I'm someone who is growing, who is getting to know myself a little better every day, and just who is doing what you know I can do per day, per time to breathe and to just be my own person and grow into my own life and make my own future. And it's a beautiful space to be. So yeah, take this time, be with yourself, know yourself. What have you been thinking about lately? What have you been telling yourself? What's going through your mind? What's worrying you? What are you going through? What's up? Take this time and be aware. Be aware of why you're joyful and why you're thankful and why you're not thankful if that's the case. But yeah. And when you come out of this place, tell yourself how much you love yourself. Remind yourself there's no love like the one you have for yourself. There's no love like the one that you can give to yourself. There's no love like it. So love on yourself. And yeah, anytime you think of anytime that you're stressed or worried by external factors, you always know how to come back to this place, to come back to you, to come back to this place that you are in. You know, this it's nobody can take this away from you. So always remember to come back to this space and be aware and stay thankful. And yeah, we'll practice it every now and again, I think. I like. Okay. Thanks for joining me in that session. And just, finding yourself with me. I think that it's important to practice these things that we talk about. It's important to know exactly what it means to, just be in those moments and do those things. And so, yeah, absolutely. Thank you for that. So, we're going to move on. So, I was saying, what have you guys been up to? This past week, I have been a busy bee. I have been work. On Thursday after work, I went to a corporate party. It's Stampede period, so Stampede is like it's a yearly 10-day event that they I guess it's called the greatest show in the world, according to them. And yeah, so during those 10 days, I had what's it called, a brought up from the city explain how things happen. It's not my first stampede. I had a stampede last year, but I didn't get it like that. And I think that was when I went to see Coffee's show last year. It was fun, but I didn't really, partake in the main stampede. Neither am I going to partake in the main stampede this year. I don't have money for that. The rides they're cool, but for now, I feel like I have other things I want to do with my money. So, but anyway, attended one of the corporate parties because according to the breakdown, there's like the corporate, stampede. There's like the stampede itself, which is like the carnival, and then there's like all the other parties that happen, everywhere. And so yeah, corporate events on Thursday. On Friday, I went for a concert, my first concert ever, and my friend was one of the performers, and she put up an amazing show, and it was really good. And then I got to see my favorite Nigerian artist of all time, KD. Anyway, so if you don't, well, I don't know if I've ever mentioned it, but probably I have. One of my favorite Nigerian songs, or my favorite Nigerian songs, is "Oh yeah, talk to me, your mama." Hey, that's going to be my wedding entrance song. I've been saying it since. If the DJ does not play it, he will not go home with his complete money. Anyway, so and then today I'm here Sunday doing this. It's been good. I've been having this recently. I got to learn what it what the exact meaning of introverts and extroverts are. And yeah, so I used to say, I think I once wrote how I do not like to be alone. And I didn't know why. I didn't know that it was, my personality. There are people who get energized from being alone, and when they're, with people and they're out, it's draining for them. And then there's people who um get all of their energy from being out there, interacting with people, collecting all the energies from like people. And so apparently those are extroverts. Extroverts are people like me who excuse me, who we outside. That's how we collect our energy. And I thought, I didn't know that that was like the definitions of stuff. So you hear people say, "Oh, I'm an introverted extrovert." No, you're an introvert. You like to go out every once in a while, but it's not your method of being energized. And then at the time where I was having this conversation, because I was having this conversation with my boss and a colleague, or my manager rather, and a colleague, and my manager and I say at the same time is like, I get sad and depressed when I'm alone. And don't get it wrong, there are moments where, like, just last week or 2 weeks ago, I was not a part of this world in terms of like interactions. I just wanted to be about my business, and I was not ready to like frolic or anything like that. And so yeah, there's moments like that, but they're not common. And now that I know these exact definition, kind of like helps me to place where, just where I am, and not feel too bad about who I am as a person, or blame myself too much for just certain things that are just my personality. And I'm like, oh, why can't I be more like this quiet person? Or why can't I be more a homebody? My personality is not homebody personality. It doesn't, like, I will just not be happy. And so every once in a while, we plan the next best thing to do. But yeah, so that brings me to what I want to talk about this week. I feel that I've been having conversations with a lot of women these days, and just we've been talking. And recently I was listening to like a motherhood podcast, but it's not a motherhood podcast, but she's been having like a motherhood series. It's called The Chill Space. It's one of my favorite podcasts to listen to. I don't know why. But yeah, the Chill Space podcast. And she's been having some motherhood series and all. And I just think that a lot of like, I've heard a lot of new mothers say how, a lot of things are not told to them. There's a lot of things you get to experience during motherhood, during pregnancy, that nobody told you about it. Nobody told you what to expect. People don't talk about it enough. And these now, I've listened to this podcast, and I've had conversations with my friends who are mothers, got married and became mothers at the time they wanted to become mothers. So it wasn't a sudden happenstance or anything like that. And motherhood for them didn't happen, by chance. And I've just been thinking lately, like, another of my friend was telling me about a story of someone she knows who had a baby for this guy. Person wasn't ready to be a father, and then they somehow went ahead and had a second baby for this person. And I know that motherhood is like one of the hardest things. The pregnancy period, I have never had, well, I don't have a baby. I've probably never experienced what it means to be pregnant, like for the long term, towards, towards where you want to go and give birth. I don't have a child, right? But I still think that as a woman who's 30, I can speak to these things to a certain extent, and I can speak to young women, and just speak to women generally, because I find that both young and old people be doing stuff though. I know of a young woman who, and by young woman I would say maybe she's 23, who left where she lived with her parents, lived with a family, went to school, and then just between, like, okay, she's done with secondary school and trying to go to uni, and next thing I'm hearing is that, oh, she's pregnant. And then seeing this person having a second child for a man who's not ready to be a father, and then just relating or trying to compare, stories that go this way with stories of people who have some sort of balanced lives and still find it hard, and like, I just wonder, like, there's people who have these balanced lives and find it extremely hard, and finding a group, like, just a difficult process altogether. And then there's people have had to, find it difficult because, okay, they had the first child, they probably didn't know who the father was, or the father wasn't ready to step up, or, just weird things. And what I really just want to say today is that, dearest Diamond, dearest woman, it's in your hand whether or not you want to be a mother. And I know this might sound very controversial, but trust me, I'm not saying it from a place of, you don't have to be a mother, da da da. No, that's not where I'm coming from. I'm just coming from the fact that the power is yours. You can tell, see, I think that the teachings that we give to younger girls is more, or from where I grew up or how I grew up, was more around abstain, abstain, abstain. Now, these people teaching you abstain know that 80% of the time, the tendency for you to actually abstain is low. Because when they're teaching you about premarital sex and all these things, nobody is telling you that, yes, the men want to have sex with you as a woman, but as a woman, you want to have sex with them too. Is the urge, the pool is not one way. It's not only one sex who wants to who wants to, what's the word now, explore. As men, you want to explore. As young men, rather, you want to explore. And as young women, same. But unfortunately, the teachings that I had growing up was more on, oh, abstain as a woman, and nobody's really teaching these men to also wait till they get married. So who are the men going to have sex with in the end? Is still these women who also want this shit. But then somebody's only teaching them one side of things. What I'm just trying to say is that the power is yours as a woman. It's yours to tell your man to use a condom. It's in your power to ensure that you're on birth control. And I think that birth control is not something that is talked about well enough. So I know that what I'm saying right now, from like, as compared to my previous podcast, it's kind of like, this is not like my usual conversation route. But tell young girls that they have a right to tell their man to use a condom. If you are enjoying, if the kind of sex if you want to have sex without using condoms, get on birth control. I don't know how much birth control is, but those are things that NGOs and things should actually be more invested in. Is like, oh, why are these things that should be readily available to every young girl out there, why are they expensive? That's if it is, right? So mothers, and when you're teaching us, teach us or teach girls that as much as they should abstain, they're not abstaining. Abstaining is not just because, oh, I don't want to get pregnant, or because God will be angry with me. God's not going to be angry with you, but abstaining is just because there's some repercussions, or there's some consequences that come from eventually having sex. If you do that, might lead to this. Let's spell it out. And one of these is being, oh, you could get pregnant. And how do you stop yourself from getting pregnant? You ask the guy to use condoms. You get on birth control. If he can't use a condom, you're not, pull out, do something. Like, these are things that people should actually talk about to young girls. I am sick and tired of listening or hearing stories of girls who are getting pregnant for men who are not ready to be fathers, or girls who are mistakenly getting pregnant. Like, from the moment your child turns 13, 14, you should be able, I don't know, like, let's stop lying to ourselves. When I was 14 or 13 when I was in junior secondary school, and I already knew what it meant to kiss a guy. We had already read novels that explained literally what sex was. And even if we didn't read novels that were right, or we didn't even have the right information, these things were out there. So I think it's high time parents stopped pretending that kids don't know these things. Kids know these things. From when I was in nursery too, I already felt shy about pecking a guy on the cheek, because I kind of I don't know. I guess it's biology. It just happens. These are things that happen. So I see a lot of people whom have gotten pregnant, and they didn't mean to at the time. And yes, it's possible to get your life back on the track that you want it, but it's been difficult enough growing up as a young woman myself without having a child, and just trying to fight for my life and get the things that I want out of life. And then imagine a young woman having to do that with a child attached to her, and maybe no support, or maybe she might have family support, or maybe she doesn't have her man's support. It can just be weird. So I think that if we start talking about these things more, like, let women know that in the end, when you knock that guy and you get pregnant, you're the one who's going to Like, no matter how supportive he is, no matter how much he's there for you, you're the one who's going to have to carry that child for 9 months. You're the one who's going to have to stay back home with that child and make sure they're fed. You're the one whose body is going to go through a lot of changes. You're the one who is going to, lose themselves into something else. And when I say lose yourself, I don't mean in a bad way, but you change as much as your body changes, your emotions change, your priorities change, your child becomes the most important thing in your life. So yeah, I don't know, but today I just really wanted to pass this message. Dear young woman, dear women, it's up to you. It's not up to them. And I think that's the power that you have. It's up to you to decide whether or not you want to get pregnant. It's up to you to decide whether or not you are ready to be somebody's mother. Whether or not the power literally is yours. I've seen a lot of stories of, this person has one child for this person and that child for that person, and I'm sure that's not the life you envisioned for yourself when you started out. And I just want you to know, except it's 100% your choice. If that's what you want, that's completely fine. But if that's not what you want, nobody is going to say, "Oh, don't have sex." I think that that's the wrongest message that people preach. Is like, "Oh, yeah," they make it look like men's desires surpass women's desires, and that's absolute bullshit. Women's desires might even, like, I feel like for men it's just more of a, um I don't, okay, let me not miss here and let me not say rubbish, but it might just be a need to, release. But for women, it's not a need to release anything. It's just like, you know what, this is what you want. And own your desires. It's okay. I'm not here to preach religion, what is right, what is not right. I'm just here to say, when you are about to get down, remember, it is you that is going to bear the grunt of whatever it is. So protect yourself. Ask for what you want. If you want the person to use a condom, say, "This is what I want." If you're not doing it, then you can go. If you know that the person you're with is not going to agree to protect themselves, and you still probably don't care much, then get on birth control. If To be honest, I don't really, so, and when I say birth control, I'm hoping that you go get like an implant. I'm hoping that you maybe get on the injections. I'm hoping whatever it is you need to do. But you see all those after morning pills and all those things, they're not healthy. To be honest, I don't know why people, I don't even know why they exist. I don't know why people do those, by mistake. Mistake used to happen, I know. So okay, maybe those happen, and then okay, maybe there was a mistake and you have to do it once a year. You had him this once mistake once in a year or twice in a year, and it happened. Please just, but in generally, if you know for the next 5 years you don't want to be a mother, get on fucking birth control. And African mothers, or mothers generally, I don't understand why you'll be stressing children about getting on birth control. I know that there's worries and you have your fears, but if that child is not ready to become a mother, and I was just talking about the balance, if imagine someone who is ready to become a mother struggles, then you who's not ready, do you know the amount of struggle you're going to go through? Like, it's stressful. I've never had a conversation deeply with someone who has had to go through that. And I know children are blessings, but in the moment, is it really worth it? Like, to go through that stress? Why not bring children into this world when you're ready, when you're up for it, when you know that, yes, I know myself well enough to want to be a mother now, right? Um, and like I said, I know it's not all black and white. Things happen, right? There are people who these things happen to, and they're with partners who, are like, like, I'm not letting you go. Like, we're in this together. There are people who these things work out for. But in the end, I think that we just need that knowledge, that awareness of, the power is mine. I make the choice. It is up to me. No matter how fertile a man is, if the woman is not willing, it is up to her. And by willing, I mean, if you protect yourself, nobody's going to come and say, "Oh, why did you go on birth control?" Nobody's going to come and say, "Oh, why are you ensuring you're not getting pregnant?" Like, I don't know how I hope I'm passing this message well enough, and I'm going to stop talking at this point. But literally, that's something that has bothered me so much because I can see the difference between between people I know who have decided, I was ready at this point, whether married or not. Marriage is not the focus of this conversation. When you want to have a child, whether or not you're married, if you decide you want to have a child as a married woman, that's up to you. If you decide you want to have a child as an unmarried, that's completely up to you. I'm just saying, in terms of readiness, I can see the difference between people who have had children ready and people who have had children when they weren't ready. There's people who weren't ready and things have worked out. But then I still see people who weren't ready, and you can tell how life has gone from there. And to be honest, it's easy to say, oh, why didn't a man step up? Oh, why? But just the way you would tell a girl child that like, you need to give your consent, for anybody to have access to your body. But a lot of times there are men who refuse to have sense. So as a woman, I would not put myself in a position where you refuse to have sense, and I'm in a position where my consent doesn't matter. So that's how this is. It's like, you, as much as you want to tell the man that, oh, you should pull out, you should be responsible, you should know we're not ready to have it. Half the time, a lot of them are not thinking. They're not, because they don't have to go through it. It's not on them, it's on you. So please, I don't know why I feel so passionate about this morning, or I've just been something that's been on my mind. I don't like to hear it. I feel like we're in an age where women are stepping up, like, you're owning shit, like, as much as you are stepping up and trying to be better than whom our mothers were, we should start having better conversations with our kids. We should start having better conversations with our daughters. We should start having better conversations with young girls. And it's not enough to send to pick up a young girl and say, oh, I'm sending you to school, and all you're teaching her is abstain, when you probably didn't abstain at her age. A lot of our mothers that were singing abstain, a lot of them got pregnant before they got married. So please, it's not enough to just say, oh, God is not going to be angry with anybody. And to be honest, God's anger has never been, not stopped the children of Israel from doing bad. God's anger is not, to be honest, I don't think human beings used to really, really reason when their bodies are moving them. So instead of teaching a child about that, teach them that if you refuse to abstain, no, these are the things that can happen. And if you refuse to abstain, and since these are things that can happen, these are the things that you can do to prevent them. Whew. Thank you very much. Welcome. You are welcome to my TED Talk. But guys, honestly, so please, please, young girls, the world is large. There's so much ahead of you. You have so much potential. So much potential. And like, I can just think, if I had, I don't know, there's so many other ways my life could have gone. And it didn't go that way. Maybe that's why I'm speaking like this, but I don't think so. I just think that I have seen people who have had choices and stuck to separate different kinds of choices, and I can see how things have turned out. And I just want you to know, as a young woman, dearest diamond, dearest woman, the power is yours. The choice is yours. Whether or not you want to be a mother, when you want to be a mother, whether you are ready, whether you're not ready, it's completely up to you. Okay? Abortions are difficult, I think. Um, they have um I don't know. They have repercussions, and I think it's just hard. Like, why not just why bother? Why go through the stress of getting an abortion when you can go through the stress of trying not to get pregnant? I think it's easier to not get pregnant than to get an abortion. So yeah, I know you have choice. Then that's a choice too, or that's an option rather. But just so you know. So thank you. That's all I want to talk about today. And yeah, we'll keep talking. I'll be at in your face again sometime next week. I don't know if it's going to be same time, but we'll see. And have no, before I go, 10 things I'm grateful for. So, oh, it looks like in all my episodes I will just spill my drink. The last time I recorded a video, I spilled my drink, but we'll see. Anyway, so 10 things I'm grateful for. And I tell you how I always like to be in the moment before I say the things I'm grateful for. Today, all the things I had written prior, I left my books at home. I rushed out of my house because I needed to get here on time. So, but yeah, I like to be in the moments, and I always say, or I said last time, I should be able to come up with 10 things, like just 10 things, 10 things that I can see, 10 things that mean something, 10 things that I want to say thank you for. And gratitude is a mood lifter. Gratitude takes me out of Takes me from 0 to 100. Help him just, the ability to realize where I am and just be grateful. Today, I'm grateful for my daddy. I don't know why. I think it's because my friend's dad's 60th birthday is today. And yeah, just it was beautiful to see family pictures and all that, and it just helped me. It made me think of my dad, and so I'm grateful for him. I'm grateful for my dad today. I'm thankful for him. Um, Another thing I'm thankful for is I'm thankful for I'm thankful for just opportunities to be myself and be happy. Um, my friend invited me to sit by the river yesterday, and so I sat by a river. She had dogs. I talked about it earlier, and we just sat there, and it was a warm day. And these are the kind of things I like to do. And I don't have a car, so sometimes it's very difficult for me to, stand up, pack all my shit, put in an Uber, and go to these places. And sometimes I don't even know these places. So I'm grateful for people who introduce you to things that are meaningful to you, and people who whom I've met along the way. It's just been really good. So I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful. So today when I came into the studio, someone says, "I like your outfit." And I'm like, "Outfit?" I just threw on the first thing I could find. And a lot of times I say how, "Oh, I want to change my wardrobe." Um, I'm grateful for my wardrobe. I feel like I don't have the clothes all the time. I'm like always like, "Oh, I need new clothes. But I think it's time to just say, stay grateful for that." Hmm. Guys, I don't know, but in the past 2 years, or it's not been up to 2 years, in the past year and maybe 8 months, I've been promoted 3 times. In the last year and 2 months, I've been promoted 3 times. And I just got a promotion this past week. We'll talk about that on another episode, but I'm grateful. I'm thankful for that. Um, it hasn't taken effect yet, but I think it's just something to be thankful for because yeah, it's absolutely something to be thankful for. I also want to at this moment be thankful for me. You guys know I'm a narcissist in that regard. I love myself a little too much. I think too much of myself a little too much. But I do think it's necessary. If I don't do it for me, who will? Right? So I'm grateful for me. I'm grateful for the way my mind thinks, my mind works. I'm grateful for my ideas, and I'm grateful for just who I am as a person. At this point, also, I want to be grateful for someone I met yesterday. I enjoyed her energy so much. We had a short conversation that was amidst a lot of other people having a conversation because it's like a group of people, and she's an artist. And I don't know, I have a thing for artists, literally. Like, my younger sister is an artist as well, and I'm her number one fan. And then meeting this other artist yesterday, and her energy was just so good. And yeah, I enjoyed that conversation with her, and I'm so thankful for it. Another thing that I am thankful for today is just with this thing that I do. So just having an expression, being passionate about something and being able to express it. I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful for cookies and wine. And I'm thankful for um new environments. And someone asked me yesterday, how has it been, moving to a new country, and well, we're just talking, and I was just saying how I feel like one of the most beautiful things about outside of moving, just general growth is growing up helps you be you create your own family, you create your own friends. You don't have to be a result of where you're coming from. You don't have to mirror the tendency to mirror our environment, mirror what we've experienced as children, mirror our traumas at its high, but you don't have to. And just the awareness to be able to be at crossroads and make the right choice. I'm grateful that the choice is mine. I'm grateful that just moving, and I've been able to make a way and just put myself in the right position. So I'm grateful for all that. I think that's enough gratitude for today. I always say 10 things, and I think sometimes because I roll a lot of things into one sentence, it goes way above 10, or it sounds like it might not be enough. I don't know, but yeah. So thank you for that. And finally, affirmation for the week. So just shortly before I started recording, I wrote something down, and today I am affirming my life will make a positive difference to those around me and to those in the world at large. My life will make a positive difference to those around me, to those in the world at large. My life is meaningful, and I have the power. I have the power to make a change. I have the power to make a difference. I have the power to decide what I want in my life, and my life will be meaningful. My life will make